So, what do you think of psychiatry?
I've seen a video talking about that basically it's a hustle because everybody has a mental problem. Everybody on planet Earth has a mental problem. So regardless, if you go in there, they're gonna say something's wrong with you. You know, it's a hustle.
Yep. What do you think of gang stalking or government harassment?
It's a reality, you know. Ever since they first ever invented an undercover cop, we should expect, that everybody could be an undercover cop.
Yep, true.
Ever since they made it where police can't wear, where police are going to wear plain clothes, as long as they got plain clothes cops, then the whole world could be a plain clothes cop.
Yep. And then all those informants.
Yeah, all that. So that's my view on gang stalking, that pretty much that there's probably a whole world of plain clothes cops. That's basically what COINTELPRO is and stuff.
Do you hear about the police doing some fucked up shit out there?
They killed a black teen out here one time. That's when police situation that's most known out this way. Kendrick McDade, he was I guess he stole something from a store, and then the store owner called the police and said that he had a gun, but he didn't have a gun. And so when the police pulled up, as soon as he's gonna even put his hands up, they shot him, because they thought he had a gun.
Yeah, and they usually all covered up together, huh?
Yeah, the cops, they got off, I think.
So, on to this next question is kind of long. Bear with me. What do you think of covertly drugging people with psychiatric drugs, especially when psychiatry admits that it does not know what causes mental disorders, and RT reported psych meds kill 500,000 people annually in Western countries alone?
So the question is, what do I think about psych meds or something?
People being covertly drugged, force medicated, sneaking their drugs into their food and drink.
That's interesting. I didn't really know about that, but, I do know that, the whole cycle of things is, when it comes to gang stalking or narcissism or whatever, it's like, piss people off till they get on psych meds. And they get on the psych meds, they do the mass shootings, and then Obama wants to take away the guns, which will lead back to another Holocaust.
Oh, yes. See, some people have been reporting the covertly drugging, including myself. And, in MK Ultra, you ever heard of MK Ultra?
Yeah.
They were covertly drugging people with LSD, and one of the experiments was so they could induce schizophrenia into the subject, and and so that has different applications. And MK Ultra had over 200 sub projects. They were working on the different applications of technology, covert drugging, different behavior modification methods and things of this nature. So I'm really wondering, how would you feel if somebody was covertly drugging you?
I would be mad, I would definitely be upset, I'm upset with a lot of the stuff that I know that's covertly going on, as we speak.
Okay, what do you think of the misuse of government technology and it being used on political dissidents?
You're talking about like the MK Ultra and stuff?
Anything like, the voice to skull, energy weapons.
It's all around us, because like one of fight, you get killed or whatever. You cross this boundary or whatever, you know. And that's the difference between, you know, gangs and the government. The government, you know, they don't have any kind of like specific, don't wear this color or don't do this. The only thing they have like that, like abortion and death row, you know. If you know, so those instances they control the population where everybody knows it or whatever. You know, that's their, you know, oh, if you kill somebody, then you deserve to be killed, you know, or whatever. So, you know, that's their like gang banging right there. So, you know, so basically, you know, they don't have any kind of like real moral system, and they know everybody wants to sit here and be here. You know, nobody wants to go. You know, so they have to have some kind of way to do population control. So I understand that for that instance, but you know, it's cold-hearted at the same time. But you know, it's all about fighting for your right to live. You know, it's like, you know, we all can't be here, so you gotta do what you can to, you know what I'm saying, to be here. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fight for your right to be here, because they're trying to shave off the population, and if you want to save your population, you gotta fight for it.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like the time is running out as technology gets better, as they start mastering psychology and mind control? Do you ever think like time for freedom fighters, the time for revolution is starting to come to an end?
I mean, not really. I mean, like gangs is pretty much an answer to everything. It's just that it's in its infant stages, and it can mature in the future. You know, if just sort of like how the Black Panthers were. You know, they were that powerful where, you know, they had to be overthrown, taken down. You know, that's where, you know, COINTELPRO came to life. You know, you know what I'm saying, they made some pictures to both sides of the Black Panthers, the North and the South or whatever, and had them feuding with each other, making them think that both the leaders drew them or whatever. But you know, gangs could be on that level. You know what I'm saying, where it's like a worldwide gang syndicate or whatever. And you know, that could be the freedom fighting right there. You know, so we're in the infant stages of a revolution. You know, self-government is just in its infant stages, and you know, it's taking us a while to really, you know, master it. You know, same thing with rap music. You know, it's all the same thing. You know, they found a way to make music without actually making music. You know, and you know, and that's still in its infant stages. You know, so you know, they're finding ways, you know, for us to conquer the government. It's just taking a while for it to get there, but we have the infant stages of it.
Well, I think with gangs that you're right about a lot of things, but I don't really see them having the vision of taking on the government. They're more likely side with them and prey on the people, as they always have. They sold the government drugs to the people. They kind of, you know, keep the people poor and afraid. They rob the poor. They rarely rob the rich. They seem to be taking advantage of the system and preying on the people instead of fighting the system.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is about the infant stages. It's in infant stages right now, and you know, people haven't, you know, perfected, you know, what's going on. I mean, you know, as in terms of gangs, I mean, they're playing out, and you know, that's kind of a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's good that they're playing out, and at the same time, it's like, you know, that freedom fight, you know, revolution is disappearing. But you know, with my little crew and my homies and shit, you know, hit 100 gangs 62614, or just hit 100 gangs 614. You know what I'm saying? You know, which stands for Me Against My Enemies for Life. You know, that's just my inner circle, basically. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and that's one thing they say too, is about to shield yourself from narcissism. You got to have a healthy boundary, and that's what a gang is a healthy boundary. You It's basically saying, if you're not part of this boundary, then I can't deal with you no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much worked for me. The people that's been inside my inner circle, they've been with me for long periods of time. People that haven't been in my inner circle, they're here today and gone tomorrow. And so, so it's a good set, and it can be perfected. And so I guess that's what you can say I'm currently working on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really into all the red and blue and all that craziness. You know what I'm saying? I'm just mainly interested in, because I've been a gang stalking victim since a little kid. That's why I knew to come up with the inner circle, because that's the only way I can operate. I had to make boundaries and all that stuff. Basically, everything I've learned about gang stalking and narcissism is stuff that I already knew before I even knew those terms. And now that I know those terms, I'm just finding out that everything that I knew was correct in the first place. I haven't learned really too much anything new. You know what I'm saying? But, like ever since a little kid, I knew I had to have an inner circle, around me. And, and that actually turns out to work pretty well. And so, yeah, all that shit is just, it's coming to perfection. I like that video that you had about the Serenos, though. They are that perfect system, but they're, like you said, preying on citizens, because they are linked with the government, the Serenos. They really are linked with the government. If you do any research about Mata 18 and MS-13 down in Mexico and shit, like, they run the government, they run with the government. When they had their little peace treaty and shit, 18 streets and the MSs, that was through the government. And they was really like running things with that shit. Like, they had little kid programs or whatever and stuff like that. And they were showing their allegiance with the, that they were aligned with the government, because they had all kind of government assisted programs and stuff.
All right. For sure. I feel you. I'm glad that you have that going for you. I used to hang out with gang members, and eventually we kind of went our different ways, and I kind of was left out in the cold. And now it's working against me, because some people see me as a guy who's affiliated with certain people, but I'm on my own. So it's not all that fun. But I'm glad it's working.
That's kind of how it is. It's like you got to be your own gang. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like that on my own tip too. It's like a one-man gang. It's not really about having a whole bunch of homies and stuff like that. Like I said, it's really all about a healthy boundary and an inner circle. But if nobody's in that inner circle and it's just you, I mean, you can still be a one-man gang. Sort of like how you say, you're the top martial artist or whatever and stuff like that. It's kind of like that. I mean, that's the gang you're banging. You're banging the top martial art gang. You know what I'm saying? TMA. So it's like, what I'm saying? That's kind of like, something similar. Martial arts itself is like a gang. They got the gis or whatever and stuff like that. That's like your rag color and stuff. So it's kind of similar. I mean, all organizations are gangs. They all got uniforms and stuff like that. So, it's all kind of similar things. But yeah, it's all, I was, pondering that recently. Like, I wonder what that's like to be a one-man gang. But, it's possible. What I'm saying? It's just, it's like you can't really depend on people, especially if you think there's robots in the population that's programmed to work against you. So, I mean, you have to pretty much be to yourself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what a mobster is. You got people that's part of mobs, mob members, and then you got mobsters, where it's just like them by themselves running shit. And it's not hard to be a mobster. You can just be your own little mob boss, and the only people that fuck with you are people that sort of like Suge Knight. He runs friends with a gang, but he's basically a gang to himself, you know. And he only fucks with people that he can trust. The only reason he can trust you is if he has dirt on you. And that's a pretty good way to live right there. You know, the only way I can trust you is if I know for a fact, you know, systematically, that I can destroy you. You know, it's like, this is real psychology right there. It's like, you know, it's a win-win. That's one way they say is a battle too against narcissism. Everything has to be a win-win on both ends. You know, when you talk to them with win-win type of conversation. And when they're gaslighting you, you know, find a way for it to be a win-win for you. You know, so even though they're talking trash or whatever to you, you know what I'm saying, think in the back of your head something that you know they probably don't like, that you'll probably, you know, win on them about. You know, like, oh yeah, keep talking that trash, but I'm gonna go through your window and go get some money out your out your pants line, you motherfucker. You know, shit like that. You know, it's a win-win on both ends, and that's how it is with Suge. He's like, you know, I only deal with people that I got dirt on and shit. You know, and that's how he had the police on his payroll. You know, you catch him doing something dirty or something like smoking a blunt or whatever, and then boom, he's got him for the rest of their life. Like, man, you might as well work for me now, man. And so, you know, that's the example of being a one-man gang. Is basically what I was saying.
A lot of people have been critical with me about my militant approach because I advocate taking them on. I believe that they're waging war against us and we should be fighting back. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, like this world hates militant thinking. You know, like how I said, gangs are playing out. They're playing out because they don't want us to be militant. You know what I'm saying? They don't want us to be militant at all. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's part of narcissism too. I think what it is too, the whole solution down to what really narcissism is, I have found about this thing called dark triad. And so it seems like it's really just a war between like the dark triads, then there's light triads, and then there's bright triads. It seems like the light and the dark triads is going against the bright triads because they're not bright. They're dark and light. And you always run across dark and light people. There's people that's just dark and don't give a fuck about nothing. Then you come across light people that'll love bomb you at first. Then they don't give a fuck about you. And then you got the bright people who aren't light or dark. They're just in between, you know, sort of like atheists and stuff like that. They're like, you know, I don't believe in good or bad, but I'm smart.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? But as in terms of the war, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the war right there, you know? Yeah, it's a battle, but, you know, it can be won, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta be smart. It's just like the battle between codependence and the gay stalking narcissist is, it's like similar to that of a cop that's harassing you. And the only way you can battle a cop that's harassing you is to have knowledge of what's going on. So that's all I do, you know, when it comes to, you know, being militant minded and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You know, because I think, you know, real militant thoughts all the time, like, you know, I can just kill all these damn gang stalking motherfuckers and whatever and this and that. But that's the whole point. And that's the reason why they seem like robots. Because they're so easy to take a, you can tell they're not bright. You know, they're always either dark or light. They're never bright. You know, they're only intelligent in the things that it takes to take you down. You know, that's, you know, whether it be knowledge. As long as you read up on stuff, basically psychiatry, because they say narcissists, they hate psychology because it reveals who they are. So they hate anything that has to do with psychology. They hate any psychological word or whatever. They just hang up on you real fast or, block your page, whatever, just for saying a psychology word. But, that's the battle. That's the weapons right there, is to, just get your knowledge up. You know what I'm saying? Read up on your psychology. Psychology is basically the secret to life anyway. You know what I'm saying? I was in a business class one time, and that's what the business class teacher said. He said, the best business class is psychology, because, how are you going to sell to people if you don't know their mind? And psychology is around us every day, all day. But long story short, that's where the war is at. It's a mental war. You got to be able to just get all your knowledge on what's going on. And every time I get gaslighted by a gang stalking narcissist, I just recite knowledge that I've learned, and they now they're to the point where they say, "Oh, you're a professional. What are you? Some kind of professional?"
I just want to say, there's been times a lot of, I appeal to a lot of gang members to stand with me and to help me out. And, I feel very betrayed by certain events that have happened. So I want to apologize if I offend you in any way with my videos, because there's some times when I don't give gang members a very good review. I see them as stabbing me in the back and betraying me, not standing with me, and waiting for me in prison to kill me if I ever get set up.
Yeah, gangs are bad in general, right now, because like I said, it's in its infantry stages. You know what I'm saying? The only people that's actually doing something right when it comes to gangbanging is the Serenos. They're the ones who basically rule the world. They have the whole entire world covered. No matter where you go, you're going to run into them. They have hoods everywhere, all the way to Japan. Japan and the Philippines to Syria. So they really not playing. But if other gangs can get on that level, they even got their own prisons. Like I said, in Mexico and stuff, they got their own prisons and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's how advanced they are. But if we can get on their level, that's basically like the model right there. That's the blueprint. It's the Serenos. You know what I'm saying? If you could, anybody who can make an empire similar to theirs, you're on the right path when it comes to a revolution. But and that's basically where I'm at. I'm basically trying to make, my own little black Sereno gang. But it's hard for people to organize like that.
Let's do it. Why do you think people do not believe in gang stalking?
Well, what they say about narcissists is that narcissists are aware of what they are, because they can describe what a narcissist is, but they won't say that they're a narcissist, even though they just passed the test that says that they are a narcissist. So they can pass a test that says they are a narcissist and can recite what a narcissist is, but they will never say that they are the narcissist gang stalker. So, and they say that, narcissists know everything of why and what is going on. So, even though they try to play dumb like they don't. So, so basically what that's saying is that people believe in it, they're just playing dumb. But, at the same time, I think the whole gang stalking narcissist thing isn't really just, like a people getting paid to do something type of thing. I think they really are unaware. I think it's both. They're aware and unaware. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like a 3-dimensional thing. You have one dimension where there's a conspiracy. You have another dimension that's where it's not a conspiracy. Then you have the third dimension where it's both. Where it's both a conspiracy and not a conspiracy. And like that. Nobody's promising that. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, that doesn't seem to be anybody's goal. You know, everybody just wants everybody to just go to work and that's it. But basically, gang stalking is just like an experiment. That's the reason why it exists. Because I don't think they're really trying to just kill people or anything. It's an experiment to test your narcissism. You know, it's like if someone gaslights you or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You know, they're trying to test to see where your narcissism is at. You know what I'm saying? You know? So that's really what it's all about at the end of the day. And then it might be robots just trying to learn, you know, how our reactions are and stuff, so they can try to mimic our reactions as well. But basically, at the end of the day, it's like an experiment, and you can tell, because every time they gaslight you, they have that awkward silence. They have an awkward silence, and they can and you can tell right then and there that they're waiting for your reaction. And especially when you don't give them no reaction, and then they're sitting there looking stupid, waiting for you to respond. But yeah, people believe it. People are aware of it. People know about it. And how you know that is because, you know, anytime you bring it up to them or something, you know, like, and that's also an example of reality. You know, like before you knew about gang stalking or narcissism, you know, you was probably trying to find out an answer to something that you didn't know the answer to, and no one can give you the answer to it. Then you happen to come across a single word or whatever, and it gives you all the answers that you're looking for. Then you start to tell other people about it, and then it's like they already knew about it or whatever, or already have an opinion about it. When before they didn't even know what you was talking about. So it's all cover-ups, you know what I'm saying? It's all cover-ups, but at the same time, it's like limited knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, they're like robotic. So it's like their knowledge is only limited to the things, and that's what they say, you know, about, if you look up Ali Matthews' video, Narcissists are Terminators, that's what he says, like their knowledge is only limited to the things that's used to destroy you, you know? And besides that, they have no other knowledge. So I guess that would be my final answer right there, is that, you know, gang stalking narcissists, minds are limited. They're only limited to knowing what it takes to destroy you, and that's the length of their mental capacity. Anything beyond that, they don't have no answer for you. You know, you can ask them any secret to life. I don't know, and that's what Google is for, you know? You know, before Google, I was fucked. Now that I got Google, I don't have to ask my folks about anything, because I know they're not going to tell me the answer anyway. So, you know, now I just go to Google, and then it's funny, because after I do Google up something, then I go ask them about it, then they know all the answers about, oh yeah, I've been knew about that. Oh yeah, that's old, you know? How come that wasn't old before when I asked you about it before I went to Google? Because reality didn't exist at that time. Whatever it is I was looking for, it didn't exist. And so I looked it up, found it. Once it's in my mind, it's in their mind.
How do you think family members justify doing it to their own family?
I mean, I don't know how they justify it, you know, what kind of excuses they would come up with, but how I would justify it is we're not related. You know, I mean, can you even prove that all your relatives are really related to you? The only way you can prove that is a DNA test. And what are you going to do, DNA test your whole entire family? Anybody can say they're your family, you know? I mean, everybody's seen it at one time or another where, you know, maybe a chick will bring a boyfriend over or something, and the little kid will say, who's that? And she might say, oh, that's your uncle, Tom, or something, you know? So, you know what I'm saying? That's how I justify it. You know, all these people that claim to be our relatives, it's probably not our relatives, you know what I'm saying? That's what it really seems like the whole gang stalking narcissist thing is rooted at, is parents. Because I don't really believe in history before my existence, and which is like beyond my Fanaran. You know, Fanaran is, you your observable reality or whatever. That's the reality that you see right in front of you. And anything beyond that, is questionable reality. Does anything beyond your eyesight exist? How do you know? You can't see it. So, that's the same thing with that. And I noticed that's where most of the gang stalking situations that I relate to with other people, that's where it stems at, is the parents. And basically that's what one of the other theories about narcissism is too, is that it's our parents doing this to us, because, like I was watching something that was talking about, how, basically victims of gang stalking narcissism are basically alone. And they said, the reason why they're alone is because your parents put out a smear campaign. They put out a smear campaign telling all your friends not to fuck with you, and they listened. So you know what I'm saying. I mean, I don't have any evidence of smear campaigning or anything like that. I've witnessed smear campaigning from my folks. Listening behind the wall and hearing them lie about me and shit like that. But, I don't actually see any smear campaigns, like any kind of scripts put out or anything like that. So that lets me know this is more like a reality-based type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen any paper trails or anything. So that's how you know it's true what the robotics and stuff, because it's like a program. It's just uploaded straight into their mind. And when I see the gaslights, they come solid and quick. You know what I'm saying? And they come real fast. They don't take time to think about it. They don't practice or rehearse. It just comes up out the blue, and they knows exactly how to push your button. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, so yeah, that's the justification to me, is that they're not really relatives. Because family wouldn't do that to family.
Do you have any final thoughts? I think I should wrap it up about now. I got about 35 minutes.
My final thoughts is just that, just anybody listening, keep getting information. That's all I can say. If you're dealing with a gang stalking narcissist problem, just keep in mind that everybody wants a win-win situation. You want to win, they want to win. So, make sure this is a win-win for them, and keep in mind a win-win for you. Keep in mind that these people are like robotic in nature, and so if one person likes something, then they're all gonna like it. That's how predictable they are. That's one thing I noticed. If I try one thing out on a gang stalking narcissist person, they all like it. They have like an ant mentality, like a herd mentality, And it's also an experiment. The kind of experiment it is an Ashford conformity experiment. It's like they're basically trying to get you to conform. So that's another thing to keep in mind, to not conform to anything, and they control the way, we consume things, buy things and stuff. So always keep that in mind too. Like for instance, like with blunts, that's what I really see it a lot with blunts. They all say, oh, Swisher, OG Swishers are the best, and this and that, and they consumer market based on what they like, and they just focus on that one thing that they like, and they change the whole consumer market based on that, So, because at first, they was coming out with all these fruity blunts and shit, and everybody just stuck to the OG Swishers. Now they're coming out with these no flavor blunts and stuff, because they realize, okay, they don't want fruity shit, they want more mild shit. So now that's what they're doing, and so nothing's wrong with that, but at the same time, and same thing with that too. That's another thing to keep in mind. Narcissists aren't always wrong. They might always tell you something that you may not like, but at the same time, there's a good percentage that they're right, and you just just don't want to hear what it is that they got to say. But and that's the ugly truth about it, because a lot of things I've realized is like that with them. You know, they say shit that's right a lot of the time, but at the same time, ways to go about telling someone something. You know, not just making them seem like an idiot or something. But yeah, so that's all I can say on final thoughts is just basically, you know, get your information. You know, make sure you got all your information. That's your best weapon. You know, don't try to think about killing all the narcissists in your life and stuff, because you're just gonna end up trying to kill the whole world, and you're just gonna end up in jail. You know, it's like the rest of mass shooters or whatever. You're gonna end up dead or in jail, and that's the whole point. That's what they're trying to get out of you. So, and you know, and check out wellz YouTube channel. You know, where I sit there and make raps about, you know, gang stalking narcissists all the time. You know, all the up-to-date information, I make a song about it. As soon as I learn something new, I make a song about it. So, yeah, check that out, wellz with a Z, or under Young wellz with a Z. And that's really all I got to say, you know, that they're possibly, that the leading theory right now is that they're Terminators. There's actual robots walking around, and, you know, I've seen some kind of evidence of stuff like this on Twitter. You know, I've been getting a lot of truths out of Twitter. That's what Twitter's been good for me to find a lot of truth stuff. You know, a lot of celebrities, they talk real uncandidly on Twitter, and then I just screenshot some of the uncanny, wild shit that I be seeing, and then just repost it or whatever. But yeah, like Charlamagne the God, he was talking about like some fan or something knew when he sleeps, knew his sleep schedule. You know what I'm saying? Like right on the dot. And he's like, man, this shit's getting weird. You know? And he's like, man, how is it that people can know shit about you without even knowing you? He had 2 posts about that, you know, and I just screenshotted both those posts. And I was just tripped out on that. And then there's another post from this thing called a Truther Bot. And it was saying that it was a Terminator, that it was a T-800 or whatever, with meat and flesh on metal bones. So, you know, I screenshotted that. So, you know, that seems to be the leading theory, that they're Terminators amongst real people. I was just watching through the wormhole, Are We in the Matrix? And that's what they were saying too. That, you know, the 2 theories is that they're simulated people and only a couple real people. Or things are only real where you look, you know. And so I think both of those are true. You know, they're simulated people, and things only exist when you're looking directly at them.
Well, yeah, thanks for...
Our victory is love bombing. That's one of the last things, because, you know, you rarely ever get to hear where do we win at. But you know, we get love bombed a lot from the light triad. So that's like our victory, you know. We get love bombed, and then, you know, if you can, you know, make that love bomb like propaganda or whatever, then that's your tool, that's your weapon, you know. Every time I'm cool with somebody, I'm trying to think, first thing thought comes to my mind is, you know, not in a bad way, what can I get out of this person? But, you know, just how can this person benefit my life, and how can I benefit their life? And, you know, as soon as I locate what their quick benefits are, then, you know, my mind automatically thinks, okay, how can I use this to my advantage or whatever, this and that, whether it be, you know, a couple pictures or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So propaganda helps get you to other love bombers, because love bombers is basically just gang stalking spies that want to get in good with you. And so, you know, you got your propaganda feed to them what it is that gets on your good side, then they think, you know, okay, this is all I gotta do to make him happy. That time comes around. So, you know, you're controlling your own reality with that.
For sure. Thanks for doing the interview. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate appreciate, you taking the time out to interview me, man. You make some real good videos and stuff, so I'm glad I was able to link up with you, man.
So I'm going to end the recording there. We can kind of talk off the record.